The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth, or historical truth, or personal truth. You don't deserve to wear that uniform.
Imagine soaring through the stars, formation flying with elite Starfleet cadets. Now picture it all going horribly wrong. In 1992, Star Trek: The Next Generation delivered one of its most gripping episodes, The First Duty.
Congratulations, Mordok. That was the second fastest time ever recorded on this test.
Not a tale of space battles or alien encounters, but a story that cut to the very heart of what Starfleet represents. We watched Wesley Crusher, the boy genius who grew up on the Enterprise, face his greatest challenge yet.
To seal off.
Hey, somebody help! There's something wrong in the environmental lab!
Not a complex mathematical equation or a technological puzzle, but a moral dilemma that would test his very character. The episode aired during the height of TNG's popularity, when the show was pulling in over 11 million viewers weekly and redefining what television science fiction could be. The First Duty isn't just another episode about Starfleet Academy. It's a masterclass in storytelling that forces us to question, what matters more, loyalty to your friends or loyalty to the truth? Through Wesley's struggle, we see the price of honor and the weight of integrity.
I'm fine.
In a way that resonates just as powerfully today as it did 3 decades ago. Join me as we dive deep into this pivotal episode that changed not only Wesley Crusher's character forever, but redefined what Star Trek could say about human nature. This is the story of how a young adult's mistake became one of television's most powerful examinations of truth and consequences. What sets The First Duty apart is its masterful blend of courtroom drama and space opera, achieved through Paul Lynch's precise direction and Ronald D. Moore's nuanced writing. The episode opens with a stunning visualization of the Colvard Starburst maneuver, a forbidden flight formation that would become central to the story's conflict. The production team created this sequence using a combination of practical models and early CGI effects, pushing the boundaries of television special effects in 1992. The episode's visual language shifts dramatically between 2 distinct worlds. First, we have the pristine ceremonial atmosphere of Starfleet Academy, with its sun-drenched grounds and formal architecture inspired by modern military academies. The production design team, led by Richard James, created a tangible sense of tradition and gravitas through the use of brass fixtures, marble-like surfaces, and the iconic Starfleet insignia strategically placed throughout the campus. In contrast, the inquiry scenes are shot with claustrophobic intensity. Lynch employs tight close-ups and low angles to amplify the psychological pressure on Wesley and his squad mates. The hearing room's lighting is noticeably darker than the Academy's usual bright aesthetic, creating a visual metaphor for the moral shadows the characters navigate. One of the episode's technical innovations was its approach to depicting the cadet culture. Unlike previous glimpses of Starfleet training, The First Duty created a fully realized academic environment. The costume department developed distinct cadet uniforms that would influence Star Trek's design language for years to come, while the props team crafted detailed training equipment and academic materials that helped sell the reality of this prestigious institution. The episode's sound design deserves special mention. The whoosh of the Nova Squadron ships during the ill-fated maneuver, the echoing footsteps in Academy hallways, and the tense silence during Picard's confrontation with Wesley, all carefully crafted to enhance the emotional impact of key scenes. Dennis McCarthy's score strikes a perfect balance between military precision and personal drama, using themes that would become associated with Starfleet Academy in future Star Trek productions. The writing team's technical achievement lies in how they structured the revelation of truth. The episode plays out like a mystery, with each new piece of evidence carefully placed to ratchet up tension. The technical jargon about flight patterns and maneuvers is woven naturally into the dialogue, making complex concepts accessible while maintaining authenticity. Perhaps the most impressive technical feat is how the episode maintains Star Trek's optimistic future while exploring darker themes. The production design never loses its utopian sheen, even as the story delves into questions of honor and deception. The pristine uniformity of Starfleet Academy serves as a stark contrast to the moral messiness at the heart of the story. All these elements come together in the episode's centerpiece, Picard's confrontation with Wesley in his quarters. The scene is a masterclass in minimalist television directing, relying solely on performance, camera work, and lighting to create one of Star Trek's most memorable moments. The way the camera slowly pushes in on Wesley as Picard delivers his speech about truth being the first duty of every Starfleet officer demonstrates how technical excellence can serve character and theme. These production choices weren't just stylistic flourishes, they were crucial tools that helped transform what could have been a simple morality tale into a complex examination of character under pressure. The technical achievements of The First Duty would influence not only future Star Trek productions, but television sci-fi as a whole, showing how genre television could tackle serious themes with both visual sophistication and emotional depth. At the heart of The First Duty lies a collection of performances that transform this episode from a standard morality tale into something truly memorable. Will Wheaton's portrayal of Wesley Crusher reaches new depths, finally shedding the Wonder Kid image to reveal a flawed, complex young adult. His subtle shifts in expression during the inquiry scenes, the way his voice cracks slightly when lying to Picard. These small choices tell the story of a young man torn between loyalty and integrity. Patrick Stewart delivers what many consider one of his finest moments as Captain Picard. The famous First Duty speech is a masterclass in controlled intensity. What makes the scene particularly powerful is how Stewart maintains Picard's composure while letting just enough disappointment and anger seep through. When he tells Wesley, "The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth," each word carries the weight of a man who has lived by this principle his entire life. Robert Duncan McNeill's portrayal of Nicholas Locarno deserves special attention. His charismatic yet manipulative squadron leader would prove so compelling that the producers would later cast McNeill as Tom Paris in Star Trek. Voyager, essentially a redemptive version of the same character type. Locarno's charm makes his influence over the other cadets believable, while his underlying selfishness emerges in subtle ways throughout the episode. The dynamic between the Nova Squadron members creates a palpable tension throughout the episode. Each cadet brings a distinct perspective to their shared predicament, with performances that highlight their individual struggles with guilt and loyalty. Ed Lauder as Admiral Brand provides the perfect counterpoint to these young cadets, bringing a stern authority that makes their deception feel all the more serious. What's particularly impressive is how the ensemble cast handles the gradual unraveling of their deception. Each actor portrays their character's mounting stress differently. Some become more defensive, others withdraw, creating a realistic portrayal of how people react differently under pressure. The interrogation scenes showcase this brilliantly, with each cadet's testimony adding another layer to the mounting tension. The supporting cast deserves special mention for grounding the episode in Starfleet Academy life. Shannon Phil as Sito Jaxa and Walker Brandt as Gene Hajar bring depth to their roles as squadron members, each showing how different personalities might be drawn into a conspiracy of silence. Their performances help establish the peer pressure and camaraderie that makes Wesley's eventual decision to break ranks so difficult. These performances work together to explore the episode's themes of loyalty, truth, and the price of integrity. Every actor brings complexity to their role, avoiding simple hero-villain dynamics in favor of more nuanced character portrayals. The result is an episode that resonates on both a personal and institutional level, examining how individual choices impact larger communities. The chemistry between the cast members elevates every scene, whether it's the tense exchanges during the inquiry or the more intimate moments of confession. The way these relationships are portrayed helps viewers understand why maintaining the lie would be tempting, making Wesley's ultimate choice to tell the truth all the more impactful. When The First Duty first aired in 1992, it marked a significant shift in how Star Trek approached storytelling. Initial fan reaction was mixed. Some viewers were uncomfortable seeing Wesley Crusher, traditionally portrayed as the perfect Starfleet cadet, fall from grace. However, critics praised the episode for exactly this reason, noting how it brought needed depth to a sometimes one-dimensional character. One of the most fascinating aspects of the episode's evolution is how it changed the trajectory of Star Trek's portrayal of Starfleet Academy. Before The First Duty, the Academy was mostly shown as an idealistic training ground. This episode revealed a more complex institution where pressure, ambition, and moral challenges existed alongside Starfleet's lofty principles. The episode sparked heated debates among fans about the nature of loyalty. The question of whether Wesley should have turned in his squad mates earlier became a topic of discussion that continues in Star Trek forums to this day. This discourse highlighted how the show could tackle complex moral issues without providing easy answers. Hidden details emerged over time that added new layers to the episode. The Colvard Starburst maneuver, for instance, was named after a real-world fighter pilot. The writer's room originally planned a different ending where Wesley maintained his lie, but this was changed to better reflect Starfleet's values. Perhaps the most interesting behind-the-scenes detail involves Robert Duncan McNeil's character, Nicholas Locarno. When creating Voyager, producers considered bringing Locarno back as a main character, but ultimately created Tom Paris instead, feeling Locarno's actions were too irredeemable. This decision sparked years of fan speculation and discussion about redemption in the Star Trek universe. The episode's impact on Star Trek storytelling extended to the way future episodes handle conflict within Starfleet itself. It opened the door for stories that questioned the organization's ideals from within, leading to more nuanced portrayals in Deep Space Nine and later series. Writers began to explore how Starfleet's principles could be tested not just by external threats, but by internal struggles and personal failings. What's particularly notable is how the episode's reputation evolved among critics. Initially praised for its dramatic tension, it later gained recognition for its sophisticated handling of institutional ethics. Television scholars have cited it as an example of how science fiction can address contemporary social issues through metaphor and allegory. The episode's influence can be seen in how subsequent Star Trek series approached character development. The idea that even the most promising officers could face moral failures became a recurring theme, adding depth to characters like Tom Paris in Voyager and Michael Burnham in Discovery. This more nuanced approach to character flaws helped Star Trek mature as a franchise, moving beyond simple hero narratives to explore more complex human stories. 3 decades later, The First Duty stands as a testament to Star Trek's ability to tell stories that transcend their sci-fi setting. Its influence extends far beyond the franchise, setting a template for how television shows can explore institutional ethics and personal integrity. Modern series like For All Mankind and The Expanse echo its approach to depicting professional spaces where personal choices carry massive consequences. The episode's themes feel eerily prescient in today's world. In an era of fake news and institutional distrust, Wesley's struggle between loyalty to his friends and commitment to truth strikes a particularly resonant chord. The question at the heart of the episode, what do we owe to truth versus loyalty, remains as relevant as ever in both professional and personal contexts. Military and academic institutions continue to grapple with the same issues presented in this episode. Recent scandals at service academies and universities mirror the central conflict of The First Duty, showing how peer pressure and misplaced loyalty can compromise institutional integrity. Several military academies have reportedly used this episode in their ethics curricula, particularly when discussing honor codes and accountability. On a production level, the episode pioneered a specific visual language for depicting institutional hearings in science fiction. The formal setting, camera angles emphasizing power dynamics, and the way tension builds through testimony rather than action created a template that shows like Battlestar Galactica and the Orville would later adopt. The episode also marked a significant evolution in how television handles young adult characters. By showing Wesley's fall from grace without completely destroying his character, it helped pave the way for more complex portrayals of young professionals facing ethical dilemmas. Contemporary shows like Industry and The Resident owe a debt to this groundbreaking approach. The Picard-Wesley dynamic, particularly during the confrontation scene, has become a touchstone for depicting mentor-mentee relationships in television. This approach influenced countless shows dealing with similar relationships, demonstrating how to show disappointment and guidance without resorting to melodrama. Modern series continue to reference this dynamic when crafting their own mentorship narratives. The episode's influence extends into modern corporate ethics training, where it's sometimes used as a case study in decision-making under pressure. Its clear presentation of ethical dilemmas makes it an effective tool for discussing professional integrity and institutional responsibility. Business schools have reportedly incorporated the episode into their ethics curricula, using it to spark discussions about loyalty, truth, and professional responsibility. Perhaps most significantly, the first duty helped establish a more sophisticated approach to moral storytelling in television. Instead of presenting clear-cut right and wrong answers, it showed how good people could make bad choices for understandable reasons. This nuanced approach to morality influenced countless later shows, from Breaking Bad to The Good Place, which similarly explore how ethical choices are rarely simple. The episode's exploration of institutional integrity has gained new relevance in an era of whistleblowers and institutional accountability. Its depiction of the tension between personal loyalty and larger truth resonates with contemporary discussions about institutional transparency and individual responsibility. The questions it raises about when to speak up and at what cost continue to reflect real-world dilemmas. Modern Star Trek series continue to reference and build upon themes established in the first duty. From Discovery's Academy episodes to Picard's reflections on Starfleet's ideals, the episode's DNA is woven into the franchise's ongoing exploration of what it means to wear the uniform. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of Star Trek's most thought-provoking episodes, hit that subscribe button. We'll be exploring more classic episodes that shaped not just Star Trek, but television as a whole. What episode should we analyze next? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Until next time, remember, the first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth. Live long and prosper.